I'm Khadija Phillips. I'm formerly from Grassy Park and I moved a year ago to Burka. So I heard Soraya on the radio talking about the garden, and then I decided I'm coming to join. And I wasn't sorry I joined the garden because I didn't have all that hugs before like I got here. And I harvest a lot of the veggies here out of the garden, and I made lovely dishes from it, and we enjoy being together as a family here. And every week I come and do something in the garden. In COVID, yeah, we couldn't came here, and it was frustrating. We had to stay indoors. We couldn't harvest. We couldn't come out and plant, and it did really affect the ladies, all of us. So it wasn't nice for us to be indoors and not gardening.
So, how did the garden help you make friendships after COVID?
How did it help?
How did it help make friendships? Yeah.
Yeah, we just had little meetings over the WhatsApp calls, and that's how we came together on the WhatsApp calls. But otherwise, we had to stay indoors. So it really affected us, yes.
Well, all I can say is that I lost my husband 3 days before lockdown last year, and the gardens mean everything to me. I'm a member of Saboka, and Ruwaida Majid, actually, which is the head gardener of Saboka, who helps people now with the community home gardens in Buka. She actually inspired me to have my own garden at home, and she assisted me with it. Well, I have to self-sustain, you see, so I'm actually a member of Sabuka also, because I also harvest my things that I need from the gardens, because I'm into baking and cooking. So yes, that's my thing.
As you know, my name is Fatima. I'm from Buka. I was a preschool teacher, cook. I gave up everything at the age of 54. I wanted to, as a community worker, I wanted to just take my time with community work. And the sustainable garden, which is in the Kustas, was one of those projects. It was a project that was started about a year or two back, before COVID, where we already approached the owners of the Kustas if we could plant there for our community, because we have different statuses in our community. We have poor people living up in the flats, and we have a nice lekker karre, lekker huise hieronder. So you see, we need to sustain ourselves, and we need to sustain those in need. I am part of the Sabuka, and I started with the gardening with the group of Sabuka here, and I enjoyed myself, and it was a place to come to with the elderly. Oh, it was lovely just to come and sit and have a nice time and get all the stress out of you and work in the garden. And it was most enjoyable until they closed the gates for us. It seems it is a thing. I don't know if it's in the world or in this country or where, but it's everywhere, that women get suppressed when they stand up to do something and to move forward. It's like they are being kept just there. Like you belong in the kitchen. You must do whatever your husband say, whatever you must do in the house. And in Islam, woman was freed from slavery. When our Prophet ﷺ was sent, the last prophet, Allah, our Creator, freed us. We got that emancipation from such things. We're nobody's slaves, but the slave of the Almighty. And another thing is, we were very hot so when these gates were both closed, especially the elderly. And we didn't have a chance to water properly, because we had to water through the side of the gates here, and we couldn't reach the other side. And to the left side, stuff died. And then we went to Lion Street up here, and we started watering from there. We got a house from a very nice gentleman, and the lady opposite the road, she offered that we can use our water, and we used water also from the washing and all that we brought, recycled water, and we watered from that side. And then suddenly the small gate was open, and then we're back, because now we can really do things and plant. The plants is still there, the crop is still there. We have harvested such beautiful tomatoes, look like pomegranates, tomatoes looking like pomegranates, and celery and all the salad stuff, chilies. So if we were given the opportunity, we could have really fed a lot of people by this time already. And now we're doing some winter cropping. So we're trying our best to help those who cannot help themselves. And in that, we're also helping ourselves by fulfilling our inner selves, in the sense of being out there for others, so that we can get that happiness and the satisfaction in our hearts that we are doing something which our Creator wants us to do.
Yes, hi, I'm Lucida Emerin, and I would like to say that I was very much part of the history of the garden, because I participated, or I attended the school or classes of the late Chef Bully, and he was the one that initiated this. But he was such a very good speaker, very, very dynamic, and it was always overcrowded. There was never enough space there. There was always an overflow, and with the result that he felt and the people felt, it is so exciting this, and everybody can't get in. He decided we need a bigger premises for it. And then he went to look at premises, but the thing is, the people, Sheikh Bully initiated the whole thing, but the people donated money, and Sheikh Bully had many big functions to raise the funds, and then the people used to give 10 cents per brick towards it, and that is how they accumulated the money.
In what year was this, if they gave 10 cents? Because 10 cents must have been a lot of money then.
Yes, 10 cents, those years were a lot of money. It was about in 1972, right about there.
Yes.
And we just paid about 3,200 Rand for it at the time, approximately. And that even was a lot of money. So he went to look for premises, and we first went to one premises in Leuven Street, and we weren't successful there. And then we went to look at this one at the Kustas, which is called the Kustas. And why it is named the Kustas is because a group called the Costas, a gang actually, they frequented this, and that's how they ended up with the name called Costas. But you know, the people in Bukab, they have their own dialect here, and they changed it to the Kustas. But the thing is, since Suraya initiated this, and I was very impressed, because all the time we said the developers are coming here for the properties, and they said the civic, many people in the civic said we must take over all the little lands and make it into gardens, but nothing ever happened to that. But when Suraya suggested this about the Kusta, to open the sustainable gardens, she didn't say we're going to do it. We did it, and we started immediately, and it took off so very well. And we have over 150 people, if not more, on the chat almost immediately. And we got a very exciting teacher for us who taught us the permaculture, so everything was beautiful, organized, and that's how it started. And so many ladies, especially the senior ladies, joined us. And it made such a big difference to the ladies to have company, to come out, to enjoy themselves in a different way, and to do something for the community at the same time. And we had lots of great camaraderie here, and we enjoy all the fun times, even if we have to celebrate our birthdays here. That is what we're doing here, and doing good work for the community.
I believe that, so there are people who are saying you didn't have permission to do this garden, but on the other hand, this garden was just a rubble dump before, was it? And then also it seems that in Islam, one of the pillars of Islam is actually to give, to help the needy and the poor. So how do you respond to people who say you don't have permission and or didn't want you to have this and to lock the gates?
Yeah.
Or how did you feel about that as well?
Yeah, initially we did, Soraya and I, we did approach the Buddhist brothers, the Buddhist sons. Those are the sons of the late Sheikh Bulli, and to say we want to do this. And the first thing one of them said, yes, you definitely can use it, because my father said this was for the community, and the community raised the funds, and he did a lot to do the functions to raise funds, but the community did a lot. And Sheikh Bulli unfortunately passed away very suddenly at a very young age, and it was an ongoing thing for the community members or the members of the Darul Falah. I was also one of the students of the Darul Falah, but the older members, they were collecting money up till 1998 when the one passed away, and then a few others do it. And it was the people of the poorer side of World Cup that did it. The people of the flesh that did most of the collecting for the money for the kustas, and they even paid the rates and so on. So even if the people didn't want to give us permission, we have all the rights, because it's a Waqf land and it belongs to the community. That is what Waqf land is all about.
So Waqf land is Allah's land, which is meant to be used in the path of Islam to empower humanity,
Yes.
and for the benefit of humanity and
Yes.
the community.
So what we're training people to teach them how to grow the food, and then to use it or distribute it amongst the poor. And that training is actually teaching, because what Sheikh Bulli meant is that this must be for a madrasa, and this is exactly what we're doing. Plus we have a teacher teaching madrasa. So we actually the very first to have made use of this land, because for the last 40 odd years, it was completely empty and nobody used it. So we the very first that started using it.
What do you say? Does this open a bigger question of Waqf land, and maybe, that people need to probably look at the Waqf assets more carefully? If Waqf land can be so abused and used for drug addiction issues and that sort of thing.
That's a good thing. Some people complain, some neighbors complain, not the whole community, that we're making a noise. I don't know, so many other objections that they had. I can't understand why they're doing that. I just thought, I couldn't wait to see what they are trying to do by getting rid of us, because they even put the private property sign up and no trespassers. But this is Waqf land. It's for all the community members here that can make use it, and that is a good thing, to use it for the community and to raise food, to supply food to the people, getting foods into the pots in their homes, etc.
So how did you feel when the gates were locked on the garden?
Oh, it was terrible. We felt down and out. What are we going to do? Because they really went all out to fight us in different ways. They got a sheikh to put it on the Friday afternoon for Jum'ah. We were very scared about it, but we realized we have to study and see what Waqf land is all about, and that we don't have to listen to somebody if he's not telling the right thing, or if they one-sided. They were more in the interest of he was more talking in the interest of the neighbors, instead of we that are doing exactly what needs to be done to help the people, especially in the time of the pandemic.
So would you say that, do you think one could say that because this Waqf land has been abandoned and left for 50 years, that maybe the community began, because they live opposite it, they felt it was their private property, so that's why they felt that they didn't want other people to come here? Or
I think yes, I think that is so. But I also think that they didn't realize the value of the land. When we started doing this, then they realized, my word, this is a great thing that these women are doing, and they're using it, whereas it was just lying here. So then they realized, then all the interest came. It's like Soraya said in the paper one day, where they came with their grubby paws. They wanted to come now. So, but we are first, and what is wrong with us? So we'll just have to carry on, and we're enjoying it, doing it, and we're gonna make a great success of it.
Okay, my name is Naisley, and I'm from Sabuka, a member of Sabuka, and COVID has really impacted on all of us as community. Most of our people has lost jobs, and we have tried to grow some vegetables here for the families, etc., etc. So it has impacted on many families here in Bo-Kaap, and I feel that we should make a difference here in Bo-Kaap by growing vegetables for them. Yes, I was very sad, because to think that you get people to be so nasty and lock the garden where other people cry out for food.
yeah, because food is really life, isn't it? And
Yes.
I think that the women were quite affected.
Yes, we were, because we tried our utmost best to keep it open, but unfortunately there was bad elements around us that wasn't happy with us to have this done for the poor and the needy. As personally, because humanity, you strive to give somebody else food if they haven't got. That's the main thing, and I mean, as Muslims, firstly, we should know all that.
My name is Mary Khatib, and I train people to do organic vegetable gardens using no money, but to have luscious gardens. And I was asked to come out here during the lockdown to come and train people to do gardens. Normally I would go to Malawi, but because of the lockdown, I couldn't train people there, so I thought, okay, I'll do it here in Cape Town. Then, when I asked, can I have a picture of the garden? This is the rock they sent me as the garden. I thought, oh my word, what am I going to do with this rock? Anyway, the garden is on the other side, I came to know. And yes, when I came here, it was so amazing, this dump. I thought, oh my God, this people is going to make a garden on a dump. But it was interesting because you have Table Mountain on that side as a backdrop. And this wall here, I didn't even think you can have a garden. Anyway, so I came and I gave the training. And I fell in love with this place here, although it was a dump. My teacher always said that on the placards of dumps, a white lily grows. So I thought, let me see if it can really happen. So when they asked actually for me to assist in planning the garden, I thought, yes, let me give, this is a challenge. I normally train, I haven't actually planned a garden, except for my one at home. Let me do this and see. So I said, my motto is, let us work smart and not hard. And we believe when we started here, we had no tools, there's no soil to work on, it was just rubble upon rubble upon rubble, and layers of it. 50 years is a long time. Anyway, so the best alternative was here to actually use tires, use compost and soil, to actually mix that and then plant in it the quickest we could get, which we did. And we started working from the front to the back, because the vision is that all of this must be garden. And yes, so in the lockdown, we weren't locked down. We were actually working until we were locked out of the lockdown. And then our garden really went to ruin because it didn't have water, and it was in the hottest of the months. And these ladies were working so hard, and it was really sad to see how the ones that they had nurtured throughout the months, through the hot summer sun that worked, how it was actually just dying. And then someone came up with a brilliant idea to actually hose the garden from the top. You can still there's a high wall here and the garden is far below, and they started housing the garden from the top, which was brilliant. So although they couldn't harvest, eventually when the gate was opened, there was still some of those stuffers ones left, and they could actually use that. We've got some nice recipes on the website that has been made from the stuff that was harvested from the garden. And if it hadn't been closed down, this garden would have given even much more outreaches than we had. And so we're back here again, we're working. We're not thinking backwards, we are thinking forward. And today especially, the ladies called planting the tires. We folded tires and people donated soil and compost and mulch, and someone donated our lunch for us today, which is amazing. And so the spirit that we have here at the Koesters is the one where you werk at your broek pas. And I'm not going to say the rest because it all rhymes with Koesters and you can use your imagination.
I guess we'll do that a little bit later.
So this garden is going to be fantastic, and when it's opening, you must all come and see our garden. Yes, of course. And he donated towards the garden as well, and we're very thankful for that. Thank you very much. Yes, this is really a very famous spot. So there's been celebrities and there's been students from all over South Africa, and him being from Nigeria, I think, and America. So
the UK.
Yeah, yes, UK. And so, I mean, we're very international here, so people should actually come. As soon as we have an opening, you must come. I think because most of the people know what the rubbish dump it was and all the vices that happened. I don't even want to mention what it entailed here. And everybody around that is kind towards the garden has actually admired the work that has been done. It's not for them, it's not like an eyesore sight to look out of the windows and now see the garden. And yes, everybody's happy, that is appreciative of the garden.
Tell us what your name is and what this garden is.
My name is Ali. I've been staying most of my life here in Buka. I always wanted to do something for the community, and then I met Soraya Puli, and she was busy with this project. It was at the Koesters, it was a rubble dump, and she wanted to turn this, she wanted to turn the rubble dump into a sustainable garden to feed the community, and I liked that, and I volunteered. So then I came here and I started working, helping out, and then I found out that they were doing training, and I did a training course. Someone sponsored me. And from there, I was unemployed that time, and then I decided to do work for the people in the community, and I got a little income from that. And Mariam Khatib trained us, and I'm very grateful to her for teaching us.
So you actually use the skills that you learned in the organic gardening training to provide employment for yourself, is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, yes.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Nisa.
The soil and the earth, that's your peace. Be connected with the soil and the earth and you find peace really.
Zodra jy hier inkom, is op your relaxing moment. It's like you're so comfortable, you're in your own zone. There's nothing else you want to think of. It's just the peace, quietness. It's like you're on another planet.
Toe as ek hier inkom, voel ek gelukkig. Because ek het nooit geweet ek sou eendag my eie basis om my tuin te maak en tuin.
There's a magic in this place. It's actually manifesting in ways that are beyond us or beyond our understanding. There is something incredibly powerful about watching people grow food, and as they grow food and people reward them for growing food, watching that transformative shift happen in them. And that for me is something quite empowering.
When we came here on the 18th of February 2019, we were caterpillars. We went through metamorphosis, and now we are butterflies. We are flying. And I don't want to go back into metamorphosis. I would like to stay butterfly. It's not nice to be a caterpillar. From housewives, we became plumbers, builders, farmers, sometimes electricians.
I was a depressed person, and when I started working here, I became more calm. I loved coming to work. I didn't like going to work. The 8 to 5 work on my nerves, working for a boss, oh no. But I can't wait to get up, to actually see the seedling grow. Is there fruit on the tree? That's what keeps me going here.
Dis basically onze mense se goed man, right? Dis iets wat ons mense verloor het en vergiet het 500 tot 600 jaar gelede. En as ons nou kyk en vandag se sit so wys en 500 jaar later as ons mense nie in 'n goeie toestand nie, especially waar kom by agriculture. Kos is actually die main basis van baie van ons stres. Van as ek hier vanaand weet ek het kos vanaand vir die potjie, as daar klomp stres op my mind deur die dag. Want rede wat, daar is die food security nie. Van meeste van ons mense hier in die ghettos is under die impression ons moet weg. Ons moet 9 to 5's van. Ons moet in 'n gebou gaan, in 'n factory iets manufacture vir geld. Vir wat is hy geld? Ultimately vir kos. So ek het my gedink dat as ons at least hy chain kan breek waar ons die kos spaar en ons van ons stres net 'n bietjie mitigate of kleiner kan maak, dan gaan die ghetto nie meer poverty ken.
We actually thought out of the box into the hook, and we converted the chicken hook into a real cafe, and we called it the Hoenderhoek.
When you have two distinct communities that meet in a space, in a place that is around food, something magical happens. This is a multicultural community destination, and the collaborations, discussions and partnerships that are emerging are really quite special because they're all now focused on life and food and biodiversity and health of the planet. This farm is part of something much bigger.
Ja, die drink is lekker. Ek wil net vir julle sê, jy kan by Ocean View High kom. Langs aan Ocean View High. Dis 'n lekker restaurant. Hulle noem dit OV Organics. Dis 'n komedie vir die hoenderhoek. Sy sal dink dis 'n hoenderhoek, wat gebeur in die hoenderhoek is jou pizza, jou scone, jou koffie, jou tee, jou morning breakfast, jou lunch, jou sappe, jou kosiste sonneklappe en jou juice. Dis 'n orange, carrot en mint.
We are 5 female farmers. We are cooperative, so it means it's an equal chain, the business. This is history, because never even in the life and times of Ocean View, you had 5 female farmers. The residents of Ocean View need to claim this, because it is the Ocean View. And we need to connect big time.
Alam ko kay wat na ako sa inyo. Oo, dali, alam mo niya. Taxi factory sa tampay ko ni wala net hier kan kom.
Invest allemaal hier binne. Hou die geld hier binne. Ons maak ons sosiaal, want ons hou die geld hier, ons kan meer bou op wat ons uitgee.
This is actually a way, an opening for us forward to show them how, but there is life here in Ocean View. There is people that want to move forward in life. So I think this is one of the ways to move forward and to get people together in the community to work as one.
It's big, it's enormous, it's gigantic. It's not just going to stop here. People should be able to walk past here and see there's a farm. Because if you think about Ocean View lately, since 2014, all that you hear is crime, shooting, dead body, that abbreviations and adjectives should be gone. It needs to go. They need to talk farm vegetables, pigs, sheep, goat. So yeah, we are going to make that connection.
I want it to be so amazing. People must even flow over the internet just about this farm. That's how I feel about this farm.
I think through us, Ocean View will be mentioned and will be put back on the radar, because if you go up front and people ask you, where is Ocean View? They think it's in Durban or Sea Point, or you need to say Ocean View next to Scarborough, close to Komiki, almost near to Soetwater, where the two oceans meet. But I think this farm is going to put Ocean View on the map.
It's the center of Ocean View. It's the main attraction of Ocean View now.